Okay, folks, it's been a while. It's been definitely 2 or maybe 3 weeks since I've been on this. I apologize for that. It was a bit of a hectic period, just kind of coming out of summer, little vacation in there, back to school for the kids, all sorts of things. So I do hope to be much more consistent heading into the sort of key time of football now. I have caught up. I've done kind of all the data, which you'll be able to use at the link below. Of course, like, share, subscribe, all those fun things. If you can, help my channel grow just a little. And there's also there's a link below to get straight to Sorare. You get a free card after you buy a couple. Anyways, details are all below. I won't waste your time too much with that. You probably heard it all before. Let's get into the data. So one of the things, so I've kind of backtracked, and what we're seeing, my last video really emphasized this, and we're really seeing that the scores are getting a lot bigger now, and really your lineup has to score 300 points in order to have a chance of winning. And this is about a week ago or so, maybe 2 weeks ago, and you so you really can't put forward a team with one player that's not playing or something like that. And certainly to get an even better card at tier 2, things like that, you need about 350 or so. So that's been pretty consistent now. On top of that, Champion Europe is by far the most competitive league. And that makes a lot of sense. Obviously, some of the biggest clubs, best players, things like that are there. So people are putting a lot of money into those players, and they're reaping the rewards for it by getting some big scores. So that's kind of a dangerous one, which you'll sort of see a theme here. And what's interesting is, as we even went through some the international breaks, so we had some lighter weeks in terms of leagues and things like that. The scores were still pretty high. This is not easy necessarily to get 260 points in U23. You see that again in this week here. Pretty high weeks even in the kind of slower weeks. So we're just seeing a massive amount of kind of competition. A lot of people are entering in, and just some big lineups and things like that. So I don't know. Certainly, when you look at my roster, I like what I have. At the same time, I'm certainly not winning every week. For me, it's probably once every couple weeks or something like that. And because of that, I'm really just I'm starting to flip some of the advice I'd given in the past, where now I'm really playing Global All-Star 4. Sometimes is my best lineup, just to get the Ethereum bonus. You would have seen over the last few weeks, Ethereum had a big spike. It's come back to earth a little bit, but it's still performing pretty strong. And so getting that 0.2 is actually a pretty decent score from a pure cash perspective, but also with the introduction of the limited cards, getting 0.02 is can get you some really solid players at the limited level. So and we're going to look at limited in a second here. So anyways, that's kind of where we've been at. I haven't entered in these yet. We still have several hours before this week finishes up. The red here reminds me to update that. But let's look ahead to where we're at for this new game week that's starting in about 8 hours or so. Pretty chalk, I would say. There's nothing too surprising here. I mean, I guess Champion Europe's a little spicier, I guess, a little more enticing, if you will. But remember the points threshold for Champion Europe. 400, 350s and 390s, things like that. So sure, you might have a slightly better chance, but you better have a really great lineup to really do well there. All the other ones actually look just about pretty, like nothing jumps out at all. Maybe Special Weekly is kind of interesting. It's been several weeks since there's been this percentage of payout. So as you can see, 7 here. There's down to 3. There's a really low one, 5 here, 1.43. So, and then this was kind of an oddball one. But yeah, so a little bit healthy here. This is Champions League players. So, you might have clubs. You might have a pretty nice roster you could put in here. But you might want to consider dropping it down into this spot and see how you do. That's my advice for this week. Now let's actually also look at limited. So I've started to track the limited cards now and see how they perform. So early days, let me go back. you can see that still some pretty healthy scores, but like totally attainable. 200 points, very reasonable. 250s, 260s, things like that. That's when things kind of just started out. Then we got a few weeks where things were pretty thin, and so you saw like U23 was actually, I mean, you needed 31 points to win a card. I don't know how I missed this. This is right when I was away, so shame on me, I guess. But yeah, 96 points. 70, even up here in Global All-Star, only 151 points to get a card, 231 to get a tier 2. So those of you that were smart and kind of bulked up with at least just enough for one or two lineups, you probably would have won a few cards through this stretch here. So good on you on that. 36 points Champion Asia, pretty wild. Having said that, what I've done for this weekend, I've actually plugged the numbers in, even though there's still maybe one more game to go or something like that. Just to give you an idea of where we're at over this weekend, because as you can see, the payouts are pretty similar. This was this weekend, so 510, number of people paid out, 510, 155, 207, 544, 168, 218. So if you look across, it's pretty close. So naturally, the winning points should be pretty close. That's what we should expect. And so now they've crept up to numbers that are not quite so easy as these over here. But still a little more attainable than up top here with what we saw. So, a 250 score. What I like about looking at this is like consistently U23 has been just a little bit below the others. So that's a team that I've been building, trying to just get a nice roster there that I can play and I can compete each week. But then also those players, gain in stature and talent and become more valuable in the future for me. So hopefully this one does stay just slightly depressed compared to the others, and that's where I'm sort of putting my best team. But you can see also the percentage of payout still really high right now because people are still just getting on board, and of course Sorare wants people to win and feel a sense of winning cards and things like that. So take advantage of that. Definitely jump on board with this and just get a decent lineup, and it is fun to win a card. So that's my advice. That's what we know for now. You will hear from me soon again, and I hope to be a bit more regular working on it. This stuff's it does take a bit of time, but I love the comments and really appreciate the support. Those of you that have subscribed and things like that, and click the link below. I made like a tiny bit of commission or referral bonus or whatever. I think it was like $50 or something, which was pretty cool. So anyways, thanks again. Best of luck. Bye-bye.